Roadrunner Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network.
Bakersfield punches their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
Live from downtown Bakersfield, California.
Driving Arrington for the win. CSU Roadrunners are your Western Athletic Conference baseball champions.
Here's the voice of the runners, Corey Costello.
Hey, welcome in once again to Roadrunner Rundown. Happy New Year. First edition of the 2016 calendar year. Corey Costello here with you. Thanks so much for joining us once again on the official program, CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. It's that time of year, man. We got a great great time of year coming up as conference basketball is just about underway. Going to be talking a lot about that on the show today. Matter of fact, a lot of sports kind of getting into the meat of their conference schedules, including wrestling. We'll be speaking with Mike Mendoza, the head wrestling coach, coming up a little bit later as the Roadrunners take on Cal Poly this Friday night as they continue Pac-12 action there. 1-0 in Pac-12 duels after beating Stanford a few weeks back. Also joining us on the program on the basketball front, Greg McCall, head women's basketball coach. The ladies coming off a big win over UC Irvine. They now they're done with that completely insane, nothing but nationally ranked preseason opponent schedule, and they're into the Western Athletic Conference. Matter of fact, they'll open their first 3 games in Western Athletic Conference play at the Icardo Center starting on Thursday against Chicago State. So we'll speak with Coach McCall coming up a little bit later as well as we talk about the upcoming conference matchups for the Runners and how the season now basically it's 0-0. Now it's when it really counts. So we'll chat with him about that coming up a little bit later on the program. Also joining us on the show as they're actually getting ready, kind of preparing for, they've got a few duels to go, but preparing for their conference meets. That's CSUB women's swimming and diving. We're going to be joined by diver Carlee Burks, who's been dominating this year on the 1-meter board, and Michaela Paige, who is back from injury and has been dominating herself as well. A couple wins up at a close loss to Fresno State and a win as well in their close loss to San Jose State. So we'll be speaking with those ladies as well coming up on the program today. So a lot of stuff to get to on the show. And, of course, scores and highlights and upcoming action. And speaking of that, let's go to that. The highlights, the CSUB Roadrunners. We'll start with men's basketball Saturday at UC Riverside. Final non-conference matchup. Out to the Student Rec Center we go. CSUB defensively dominating this one. 9 steals for CSUB, and that would create offense like this from one Ali Ahmed. He scores 9 points in the first half for the Runners, puts them up 3 here. About that defense, Justin Hollins with the block here. Runners then going to take it the other direction, and it's going to be Kevin Mays going to finish for CSUB. There's the block from Hollins. Now Bakersfield going to go the other direction with it. The defense in this one was unreal. Mays down low in the paint. He finishes with game-high 17, Runners by 4. Then Hollins is going to do it again. It is a block party in the IE. Then check this out. A Dedrick Basil steal and a Jalen Arrington with the fast break. There's the steal from Basil. Arrington, the fast break dunk. He had 17 as well. CSUB holds UC Riverside scoreless for 5 minutes, builds a double-digit lead. Part of that was effort. Kevin Mays sells out for the loose ball, then gets it back to Dedrick Basil, and he's going to reward Mays with the pass and the jumper. CSUB by 10. Then my favorite block of the night. Watch this one. As Riverside going to drive. Get that corner out of my face, all the way into the back court, and then another runner steal as Bakersfield continues to dominate. Another block, another steal, another block or steal. It was defense all night. How about a little offense, though? Justin Pride down to Ali Ahmed, and one count the bucket. Runners stretched the lead to 19 in the first half. Then Mays going to work, misses the first, going to get his own rebound, and he scores. CSUB is rolling. More defense, please. Another UCR turnover coming up, going to get a Brent Rapp steal, and then he's going to sneak the baseline with one of Ali Ahmed's 4 assists in the first half. That's a big point guard. Then it's Ahmed to Basil, out to Arrington in the corner, 3 points. CSUB will go 4 of 8 from 3-point range in the first half after Basil drops this long bomb. He had 15 and 6 assists in the game. Brent Rapp once more to Kevin Mays. He was 8 of 14 from the field. Runners lead by 14 at the half. Second half, UC Riverside cut the lead to 9 one time, but that was it because CSUB kept the pressure rolling. Another block from Hollins to Dedrick Basil, who finds Arrington with the dunk. Runners go up by 19 again. Then Kevin Mays, who had 2 teeth knocked out in the game, finishes extended lead to 15. Then how about Arrington? One more time, and one, and he's going to drop the flex over to the bench as well. Runners win this one going away in Riverside 67-48. Big win for Bakersfield. Jalen Arrington, Kevin Mays, 17 points. And no, I'm not lying. Kevin Mays had a couple front teeth knocked out in that game. It was so physical, but he still scores 17 points. Runners win it by 19. They held UC Riverside to a season low 48 points in the road victory. Also, the Runners last week, busy week, they also got a home win as they beat Morgan State on New Year's Eve in the afternoon. 80-68 in that one as well. So a good finish to the non-conference schedule for CSUB. Here's what's coming up for the men's basketball team. They have a funky, weird schedule. For some reason, they're going to play on Saturday night this week in conference play instead of playing on a Thursday as normal. Needless to say, it'll be the Runners at Kansas City Saturday at 6 p.m. Central Time. That'll be available on the WAC Digital Network. It's supposed to be Star Wars night in Kansas City. They have like these dark side jerseys they're wearing, so we'll see who the Force is actually with. But that game Saturday at 6, and then the Runners will be at Chicago State next Monday, January the 11th. That's a 7 o'clock Central Time start for the Roadrunners. And heading on to CSUB women's basketball, Runners hosting a pair of games to round out their non-conference schedule. Icardo Center, the coaches' cam highlights today. Bear with us, but they'll work. Badabe Zampari in the first half scores the first bucket of the game, and Runners, they never trailed. Part of that was thanks to the three-pointer, Erica Williams measuring one here, then the long pass out to Addie Addie Walters. Easy from that distance, and then Walter is going to go from the left side, and she's going to drive as well. She was off the glass, Runners by 6. Then it was Deji Vines, her game high 14, as she drives here, counts the bucket, and the foul. Next possession. This is a different play, but it's the same play, but it's a different piece of video. Same result, and one, counts a bucket. Runners now pretty much in control in this one. Three-pointer, and how about a 4-point play? Erica Williams there from the outside. Second half, Runners, they never really had a problem with this one. Brittany Sims, nice turnaround jumper there off the pass, and then once again, they're going to find Sims again down low off the glass there. Runners going to win their non-conference finale fairly easily, 65-39. Deji Vines led the way with 14 points. Alyssa Shannon, who had 10 in the game, she was actually named WAC Women's Basketball Player of the Week as well for CSUB. Here's what's coming up with their schedule, and bear with me because I got the time wrong. I'm going to blame myself for this one. They're going to play Thursday at 7 o'clock at the Icardo Center, opening up against Chicago State, and then Saturday, don't read that because I messed up. That game's actually 3 o'clock against Missouri Kansas City. Both available on the Roadrunner Sports Network, and it's going to be on Saturday, 3 o'clock, hosting UMKC at the Icardo Center. So 7 on Thursday and 3 o'clock on Saturday, as the Roadrunners open up Western Athletic Conference play. Moving on to CSUB Wrestling, the Roadrunners, a busy tournament time. They were at the Midlands Championships, took a few wrestlers there and a couple guys with a pretty solid finish. Ruben Franklin at 197, finishing in 5th place. Adam Fierro finishing 6th at 165. And then a few runners at the Menlo Open. A lot of the red shirts guys that haven't been wrestling a lot this year got a chance to go and compete. Did pretty well. Russell Ruffling winning at 141 pounds, winning the title there. Dominic Balmer finishing 2nd at heavyweight. And Mark Penasek, a 3rd place finish at 197 as well. And the Roadrunners will be back in action. They're going to be continuing Pac-12 action coming up on Friday as they take on Cal Poly at 7 o'clock at the Icardo Center. And then again, they're going to be a Pac-12 duel. The Roadrunners right now are 1-0 in Pac-12 action as they beat Stanford a few weeks ago. So they'll be back in action on Friday. And CSUB women's swimming. Here's what they have going on over the break. A couple of close losses. I mean, this one right up to the very last event. San Jose State beating CSUB 155.5 to 133.5 on New Year's Eve. Paula Hernandez winning the 200 IM. Carlee Burks winning the 1-meter board. And then the Roadrunners were at Fresno State. Another fairly close one as well. They lose to the Bulldogs 178 to 122. Michaela Paige had a pair of wins there. So we'll have Michaela Paige and Carlee Burks coming up a little bit later on the program. Whew, there you go. See, it's that time of year. Everybody's busy. Everybody's got a lot going on. And we're going to be talking to some of those folks coming up a little bit as well as the Roadrunners get going in conference play. Pretty much every winter sport that time of the year right now. So we'll be talking with Greg McCall, CSU women's basketball coach, next as the Roadrunners get ready to head into WAC action this Thursday, hosting Chicago State, and Saturday against Missouri Kansas City. We'll be back with that. Stick around. This is Roadrunner Rundown. Join CSU men's basketball for Agriculture Night as they host New Mexico State in a pivotal Western Athletic Conference battle at the Accardo Center Saturday, January 23rd. All California ag-related programs and organizations are invited to attend, with tickets being sponsored by regional agriculture businesses. If you're a member of a local FFA, ag company, or other related field, contact the CSUB ticket office to find out how you can be a part of this ticket offer. Call 654-2361 for details. That's 654-2361. And join us for Ag Night versus New Mexico State on January 23rd.
We strive to achieve excellence through determination and hard work.
We are committed to winning from those around us.
Our professors and peers,
our coaches and teammates,
and our opponents.
We compete with integrity and passion.
And we seize our moment when the opportunity arises.
We take pride in our communities
and believe that we can inspire others, just as they have inspired us. We may wear different colors, but we share the same purpose.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are
the Western Athletic Conference.
In a fertile valley, a growing university with record enrollment and graduates serving the needs of a thriving community, a tradition of athletic excellence. Now a part of the Western Athletic Conference. CSU Bakersfield.
Introducing a new way to get the news. The Bakersfield Californian e-edition. It's not a website, it's the actual Bakersfield Californian right on your tablet computer, laptop, even your smartphone. All the news, features, pictures, and ads you're used to right at your fingertips. Now you can get the Californian on your schedule, anytime, anywhere, anyplace. Get your new Bakersfield Californian e-edition today. Visit eedition.bakersfield.com.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield Californian. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes. We're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. We continue on the program. Still to come, Mike Mendoza, CSUB wrestling coach, will join us. Also, Carlee Burks and Michaela Paige from CSUB women's swimming and diving joining us as well. Those ladies had a couple successful meets here this past week and change, so we'll talk with them about that coming up as well on the program. But it is the time of year where we are early January, which means conference basketball is here and upon us. And opening up at home first will be the CSUB women's basketball squad, who plays their next 3 conference games at the Accardo Center, and head coach Greg McCall joined us now on the show. Coach, you're probably relieved. Your preseason schedule of nothing but nationally ranked teams is a thing of the past. You have survived a few bumps and bruises along the way, but no worse for the wear, and here you are finally at conference play.
Exactly. We did survive. First of all, thanks for having me here. And but yes, we survived that tough non-conference schedule, and we survived it without any major injuries, so that was really good. To be able to go into conference pretty much healthy is always a plus. So we're really thankful for that part. But we survived it, and we're ready to go into conference now.
Yeah, and that'll open up with Chicago State on Thursday. More importantly, though, you had that game this past Sunday against UC Irvine, your last non-conference tune-up, and you played very well. I mean, offensively, you're pretty solid, but also you had a very good defense in that game. Were you encouraged by what you saw defensively, especially knowing that had been your calling card in years past?
Yes, that definitely, and that's something that we've been harping on, especially on that part and the rebounding. And I mean, even though they still out rebounds, I think by 3 or 4, we're really making a conscious effort effort of really trying to do a better job of that. The girls know that that's something that we have to get better at in order for us to be able to compete and try to win the WAC conference this year. There's nothing that we haven't faced in non-conference. So we've seen from everything that we've needed to see from the top teams all the way down. So there's nothing that we haven't faced and ready to compete against now.
What did your team kind of learn about each other during that stretch? I mean, obviously you had to be resilient, but what did they learn about each other kind of going through the trials of the non-conference schedule?
The main thing they had to learn is be able to stay together. And that was the most important thing, because if you have a team that's not together on all facets of the game, whether you're winning or losing, it can really cause a lot of problems. And we did a good job of staying together. And as you could tell, each and every game, they still came out motivated and trying to do the right things and trying to win and trying to get better each and every practice and each and every game. And that game against UC Irvine, you could see it starting to all come together. And you want your team to peak at the right time. And this will be a perfect time for us to peak, because we've been through everything. We've been battle tested.
For sure. And then you get kind of the fact that you're going to get to open your first 3 conference games at home. And even, you had a few losses at home this year, but you still played pretty well at home. Had a great win over Cal Poly, win over UC Irvine. And so you played pretty well at home, so you kind of get that comfortable, surroundings of home basketball, which has got to be really helpful with your first 3 conference games in Bakersfield.
Yeah, we're definitely excited about that, having the first 3 games at home, and then to finish up the last non-conference game with the win at home, and then have these next 3 here. It's going to be really good for our program and really good for our team, momentum going into that next road trip that's going to be tough.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you kind of had to learn a little bit about – the team had to learn a bit about it themselves as well, because you lost some pieces from last year. And Alyssa Shannon wins WAC Player of the Week this past week. Badabe Zampari, your leading scorer right now and leading rebounder. Who's kind of taking charge of this team? Who's going to be the go-to? Or have that been figured out, or is that still kind of being sorted out as your team continues to play?
Well, we kind of got an identity now on who we can go to. There's Badabe. We know we can go to her. And then there's Alyssa that we put a lot of pressure on her now, and she's one of our main go-to players now, believe it or not. And because she's still, our engine that still has to get us started. She can't get in foul trouble. She has to keep us going. She has to get everybody in their sets. We're putting a lot of pressure on her, where she should be almost averaging a double-double as far as points and assists.
And one of the players you got back and played in the preseason, but lately she's been playing better. It was Deji Vines now averaging 6 points a game, but 14 against UC Irvine. And she had such a long layoff, and even playing in those games, you kind of feel like she had to sort of get back into game shape and game mentality. And where do you think she's at going into conference play?
Definitely. We're definitely thinking that she's getting in much better shape. We do even extra things with her. There's days where I'll take her off from practice, but I'll put her immediately on the bike where she's not pounding on her knees, but she's still standing and conditioning with getting on the bike, and we can get her up to a certain tempo on the bicycle, and she'll do that the whole entire practice. So we're doing a lot of different things with her to get her ready, to get her in shape, in game mode shape, and so she's doing a good job. And as you could tell, it's starting to come around now. Yeah,
for sure. And then you also had some young pieces, coming in. Addie Walters, who's playing pretty well, 9 points a game this year now, and Alexis Gilbert, who's seen quite a bit of time in the preseason. Again, you're starting to see them being more and more comfortable with the college game, and obviously they still have more to learn, but are they sort of coming around?
Definitely, they're growing fast. They had to grow up really fast with the way that our preseason schedule was. They had to grow up really fast, and we put a lot of pressure on those two, especially with Addie and Alexis. Addie, we put a lot of pressure on her. We told her right away, hey, this is what you have to do. But we had to turn that around with her and let her understand, like, hey, defense is first here. We have to play better defense. We know that you can shoot. That's what your main thing is, but you have to play defense. If you're not going to play defense, you're not going to be able to be on the floor with us. So she really has bought into that. She's really bought into a lot more. She's much more tougher than where she was when she first started this. So she's not getting pushed around a lot. She's out there battling every day, and so that's one of the things I put a lot of pressure on. And then the opposite with Alexis Gilbert, she's coming in with this defensive mindset, and she picks up these quick fouls because she's so defensive oriented. So we have to, tone her back a little bit defensively, as well as, hey, you got to pick up a little bit of the scoring on the offensive end as well too.
And this is also a team that it seems like they've been pretty resilient and sort of mentally tough, just because because of the fact that the non-conference schedule is so tough. It went 3-12, but talking to a couple of them, they all kind of knew. This was a few weeks back, but they were saying, "Hey, when we get to conference play, it's 0-0," and they weren't concerned about the fact that they had a tough preseason and they weren't winning those games. And we even talked about this in the summer when this schedule came out. Hey, bear with us, people, because this is going to be a tough non-conference schedule. But so did you sense that with your team as well, and the players weren't getting too frustrated despite the record?
Yeah, they weren't getting too frustrated. The most frustration they've gotten is when those games were really close and they felt like they had an opportunity to win. And I think it was about three games where we knew that we weren't in the game.
Yeah.
I think Riverside was one. Of course, Stanford was another one. I think Oregon State was one. But the other games we felt like we were in, and they were upset the fact that we didn't hit a shot or we didn't get that stop. We didn't get that offensive rebound to put ourselves in position in order to win. That's even at the South Carolina game. We were right there at the doorstep, and afterwards we were a little bit upset about that. And that's good to know that your team still, regardless of who we're playing, the opponent is, that they feel like, hey, we should have won that game. We should have did something better. Hawaii, who was supposed to be picked to win the Big West, we lost to them twice, and we were both, upset both times that, hey, we had this game. These are the games that we should win. And so it was good to see that, the frustration part of that part. It was a good thing. But, again, they all stuck together. And that was the most important thing because, once, like I said, sometimes losing can bring out a lot of bad things and the wheel can fall off the bus and you see a team that won't, play hard for you anymore. But as you could tell, we just kept getting better and better.
I know this is the time of year when coaches because in the preseason, I know you don't necessarily show everything, right?
Yep.
Especially in a conference. In a conference situation, you don't show everything in the preseason and the non-conference schedule. So is this? I'm not going to say that you're going to come out and you're going to be, just the Globetrotters or anything and running all kinds of crazy plays. But is the team going to look a little different come conference play? There's a few things you're going to put in. You've been holding back, that kind of stuff.
There's a couple more things, but mainly defensively. And we kind of tested it out against UC Irvine, as you could tell. It kind of worked. So I'm hoping that, the other teams kind of looked at that too often. But we put a lot of things in defensively, and it really, really worked. It really helped us out a lot. And going forward you'll see a lot more of that, and it's going to keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
And so you'll see a lot more defensive stops, a lot more turnovers, and you'll see us out-rebounding teams a lot more because of the things that we continue to put in defensively. Offensively, we're going to continue to stay the same. Yeah, there'll be a couple tweaks, but we got to play our players' strength. We can't do some of the things that we were able to do last year because we had certain players that can do different things on the floor. We can have Ty, that can play in multiple spots. We had Q that can actually run the one and help Alyssa out at times and bid and put Alyssa over at the two spots. So we'll see some of the same things offensively, but defensively you'll see some different things, some tweaks and stuff.
And real quick, I mean, what the conference looks like this year. I mean, obviously New Mexico State had a pretty good preseason.
Yes.
But other than that, I mean, it looks like this thing is where it was last year and fairly wide open.
Yeah.
Chicago State coming in, struggling a little bit. Kansas City, this is kind of the same story, but Seattle's a decent squad. What are your thoughts? Who are the teams to really kind of pay attention to on the women's side going into conference play?
Well, definitely you want to pay attention to each and every team because at each and every night, you can come in and not have a on game. And it was witnessed last night. I was watching my daughter play last night. Stanford, they played Arizona State, and they were off.
Yeah.
I mean, they missed every shot they threw up, kind of the same way we played when we went up there, and Arizona State just beat them pretty good.
Yeah.
So you cannot come in having an off night, especially on the defensive side of things. And that's why I said you'll see some things differently defensively because we cannot have an off night defensively. We've been struggling in the past to score at times on the offensive side of things, but I think you'll see us defensively create some easier turnovers, getting some easier fast break layups for us, and then you'll see us being able to score, get us into a rhythm like we did against UC Irvine. So you'll see those things coming out. But the teams, you can't take a day off. You can't take of not being able to play because at any time in this conference, it's so tough that you can get beat. I mean, last year, there were times when Chicago State, who was at the bottom of the pack, came close to beating New Mexico State last year.
Yeah.
But New Mexico State is the team to beat. I know they had a pretty decent preseason schedule. There was some games on there that probably was a little gimmies, but I wish you would have had a few of those. But they're going to be tough to beat.
Yeah.
They're well coached. There are a lot of seniors on the team, and they're going to be the team to beat. And then there's always Rio Grande Valley. Yeah, Rio Grande Valley. They changed the name, so I always get that mixed up. Rio Grande Valley, but that's another team that's always tough.
Yeah.
They're always prepared very well. They're coached very well, especially at their place. It's a hard place to play.
Yeah.
And but they do a really good job. So each team, each night is going to be tough.
And it really is, and it's one of those things too where you always got to factor in the travel aspect of it all too, because it's long travel to get to a lot of these places, and everybody seems to be play a little bit better at home. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. And so yeah, I mean, you look at some of these games where on paper you might think, oh, we should be able to beat this team, and they either give you a run for money, or they might sneak one by you, especially when you're on the road. But you get a chance to play your first 3 at home in conference play, so a very good thing for you. And real quick, Chicago State on Thursday. What do you expect out of that game?
Well, we're going to expect them to come in, just as hungry as we are, playing their first conference game because it's 0-0. Nobody cares about the preseason schedule because if you don't do well in the conference, you're not going to the tournament.
Yeah.
So they're going to come in just as hungry as we are, but we're prepared for them. We're ready to go. I think you'll see another good result of some good defense and some good rebounding. We're really working on that a lot. I just told Bada Bay, a matter of fact, I was like, hey, you're going to have to continue to go after rebounds.
Yeah.
I said, because now so many other players are so hungry for rebounds, they're going to become hard to come by.
Yeah.
And so we have other players that are doing a good job. And then we have UMKC coming in here on Saturday. I'm pretty sure that's what you're probably going to bring up next. But they've always given us a tough time.
Been some good games against them.
Yes, it's been some great games. Last year we had to beat them here at home by 2 or 3, and then over at their place we had to beat them at the buzzer at their place. And so they've always given us a hard time of playing. They've always done a really good job of scouting us and playing against us. So, again, we have to be on our A game.
All right, well, the Runners on Thursday, 7 o'clock against Chicago State, Saturday at 3 o'clock against Missouri, Kansas City. Coach, good to see you. Good luck, and we will chat again soon.
Same good. Happy New Year to everyone, too.
All right, thank you very much. Greg McCall here on Roadrunner Rundown. We'll be back. Mike Mendoza going to talk some wrestling. Runners got Pac-12 action coming up on Friday at the Ed Carter Center. We'll be back. This is Roadrunner Rundown. Join CSU men's basketball for Agriculture Night as they host New Mexico State in a pivotal Western Athletic Conference battle at the Carter Center Saturday, January 23rd. All California ag-related programs and organizations are invited to attend, with tickets being sponsored by regional agriculture businesses. If you're a member of a local FFA, ag company, or other related field, contact the CSUB ticket office to find out how you can be a part of this ticket offer. Call 654-2361 for details. That's 654-2361. And join us for Ag Night versus New Mexico State on January 23rd.
We strive to achieve excellence through determination and hard work.
We are committed to winning from those around us.
Our professors and peers,
Our coaches and teammates,
and our opponents.
We compete with integrity and passion.
And we seize our moment when the opportunity arises.
We take pride in our communities
and believe that we can inspire others, just as they have inspired us. We may wear different colors, but we share the same purpose.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
we are
The Western Athletic Conference.
All right, I'm Robert Price. I'm the executive editor of the Bakersfield Californian, and I've written a book called The Bakersfield Sound: How a Generation of Displaced Okies Revolutionized American Music. The Bakersfield Sound is really not a sound in my mind so much as it's a time and a place, just a special little period in American history, a decade or so, where some special things happened, where some people came together and some influences came together, and it made for kind of a magic little time that made a difference in American music.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield Californian. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes. We're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
And welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Greg McCall, CSU women's basketball coach, for joining us. Runners opening conference play Thursday at 7 against Chicago State at the Icardo Center. Saturday at 3 o'clock against Missouri, Kansas City. And it'll be then the following Saturday, they'll have Seattle at the Icardo Center as well. So the first 3 conference games for women's basketball will be at the Icardo Center. So they're pretty pumped about that as the season starts to count for real. And on a similar note, another season starting to really count, even though it always seems to count. But we're in Pac-12 action now, and that's CSUB Wrestling, and Mike Mendoza, head coach, joining us now on the program. Runners 1-0 in Pac-12 action after Stanford victory a couple weeks back, and get Cal Poly on Friday. Coach, good to see you. How you been?
Good.
How was the? You guys were busy during the holiday break. You had tournaments, seems like every other weekend.
Yeah, but, we were gone 13 days out of the month of December.
Wow.
So.
That's pretty
busy.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to start at the Midlands Championships, which is one of the premier tournaments. And you had some pretty good showings. I know you didn't take everybody; you took kind of a limited squad in preparation for some of these conference duels. But assess Midlands. You had a few guys with a pretty good run.
Yeah, we took 6 guys, and Adam Fierro made it to the semifinals. Beat a couple really top-ranked guys along the way. Beat the guy that's ranked. I think anywhere from 4th. They got so many polls out, but 4th and 10th in the country. And then in the semifinals, just had a close match, dropped it to the Iowa State guy and fell into consolation. Ended up taking 6th, but really did a good job finally kind of coming along and wrestling his match, and which was needed. In this sport, you've got to qualify to the NCAAs, and you qualify through the season and how you perform. And up until Midlands, is kind of wasn't really wrestling like he was capable of. Yeah. And so there had some good quality wins and put himself in a position where he's in the top 20 in the rankings, ranked 13th in the country now, and so that kind of puts him into obviously earning a spot for the conference.
Yeah. And also another Reuben Franklin, again, pretty solid at Midlands.
Yeah, pretty solid. Took fifth there, and a lot of guys are scouting him, and we came across that when a few of the matches. So it kind of helps us to see what guys are doing.
Video cameras just popped up everywhere all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, it's everything is streamed now and kept online, so it's not hard to look a guy up and scout him out, and that's certainly what happens when you have a really good guy like Reuben Franklin, and so it was good for us because we get to see kind of what guys are trying to do to game plan against them, and it helps us to counter what they're game planning against us with.
And you guys have quite a few nationally ranked wrestlers, as you mentioned. There's a bunch of polls, but it seems like this year, over the last few years, there's more guys in the national polls. So when you go to places like Midlands and even some of the other tournaments, Reno, things like that, I mean, are people talking? Do you find people talking about your program more because they're seeing your names in the national rankings more and more?
Yeah, there's not a person that doesn't mention something about Reuben Franklin at 197.
Yeah.
Just kind of, coming on the scene this year, and obviously after redshirting, not a lot of exposure, but pretty much every tournament there's guys asking about Reuben Franklin. But certainly, and all the other guys as well, being in the national rankings, we're
definitely helps.
Yeah.
Well, and then we're watching that win over Stanford. I mean, watching it on the Pac-12 network was fantastic. But the only thing that bothered me was it seemed like the announcers were surprised. I mean, you go out, you win the first 2 matches, and they're acting like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. You're like, no, these guys are nationally ranked or very close to it. You shouldn't be surprised this is happening.
Yeah, it kind of goes along. For whatever reason, our program is respected as a wrestling program. But sometimes you just, depending on who you're wrestling, sometimes still maybe don't get the credit that the guys deserve. But that's okay. I mean, that's kind of the way we like it.
Yeah,
we like being the underdog, and we like being, the team that maybe doesn't get the respect that the guys deserve.
Yeah, for sure. And that was a fun duel to watch. We're showing some of the highlights right now, but some of the ways that guys bounced back and got wins. And looking at Bryce Hammond nearly giving it up right away at the beginning of that match. I'm sitting there going, no way this is going to happen. And then what a tremendous pair of reversals he had late to win that match and win it in overtime as well. It was an incredible effort. And that's just Bryce sometimes, though.
Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable when you're coaching, but you know what? He's a gamer, and yeah,
see you in the background right there. You and Coach Riley in the background are come on.
Yeah, sometimes you feel coaching, you don't realize it, but you wrestle almost every match. You wrestle 10 matches. These guys only have one.
I know you guys are twisting and turning on the bench there, and
yeah.
I mean this was huge. Bryce didn't let go of that ankle when it looked like he was done, and this ends up being the winner right here, getting that takedown. I mean, incredible. A great night there, and then you're going to continue Pac-12 action on Friday night against Cal Poly. We'll get to that in a second. Real quick, you had a couple guys, we were talking about this off air, at the Menlo Open, which was mostly your red shirts and guys that hadn't been wrestling a lot, but you had a win in 141 with Russell Rolfling, who was a red shirt this year, Dominic Balmer taking second in heavyweight, and Mark Penasek taking third at 197. Those are all guys that we'll see in the future, but you've had a couple red shirts wrestling attached this year that looked very good.
Yeah, no, definitely. This freshman class is great, and we're really excited for some of them. And obviously, they're redshirting and getting as many matches as they can, but we see their development, and we're excited for this freshman class. Good group, hardworking, and very focused wrestlers. So yeah, and they're doing well. They're doing well in these tournaments.
It's got to make you feel a little. I know this was such a year you were looking forward to because you had so many upperclassmen, so many seniors, so many guys expected to have good years, and the team's really solid. But it's got to make you feel a little bit better as a coach, knowing that hey, we've got a pretty bright future. We've got some pretty talented guys waiting in the wings.
Yeah, it definitely is comforting. We've got obviously some good seniors that are going to be leaving after this year, and having some guys that we know can step in and fill that weight class is assuring.
Absolutely. Now, Cal Poly coming up on Friday night at the Edcardo Center in more Pac-12 action and a chance to possibly jump out to a 2-0 start in the duels. I mean, how important is that one? I know you kept some guys back from some tournaments, getting ready for the dual season to kind of get going in earnest. So, how have you kind of prepared for that one on Friday, and what do you expect out of Cal Poly?
Well, the past couple of years it's been, a back and forth with them, and we've, the thing is when you wrestle tournaments, and a lot of times we wrestle in the same tournaments, we see them.
Yeah.
So, looking at it on paper, they beat us in 3 of the weight classes. We've beaten them in 4 of the weight classes, and 1 of them we're split in. So, it's going to come down to us wrestling and battling in every weight. That's what helped us with Stanford. I mean, you look at, it's not always the wins that helps you. I mean, certainly that's how you win. You got to win.
Right.
But it's minimizing those losses. It's taking away something from the other team. And like in Stanford, you saw Sergio Mendes come back and win the match, and you saw Carlos Herrera get a last late takedown at the end of his match to take away the major decision, which took away a point from Stanford, and that's how it's going to be with Cal Poly. It's going to be us winning those matches as big as we can, and then minimizing any losses that we may take. And there's some definitely toss-up matches that we're hoping that we will avenge some losses from earlier in the year, but it'll be a battle. I mean, we've got to be ready for them. Last time that they were in our gym, they credit to them. They brought it, and we still remember it. These are the same guys that are on our team, and we remember that, and so we'll remember that when we wrestle them again Friday.
And an interesting schedule because you're going to go with Pac-12 action Friday, and then a series of non-conference duels. You're going to be at San Francisco State on Sunday, at home to Utah Valley on Saturday, January 16th, and then you're going to head to South Dakota State, SIU Edwardsville, and then another one against Grand Canyon, which is really non-conference, and you're really not back in a conference duel until February 6th against Oregon State. But this is an important time of the year here, I mean, with the dual season, because this is the action for you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely important, but staying healthy and making sure that our training is right as we head into each duel, so that we wrestle our best guys. That's what's going to be important for us from here on out.
Awesome. Well, Saturday, coming up Friday, January the 8th, 7 o'clock at the Icardo Center, and then the following Saturday against Utah Valley. So a lot of chance to see the runners here in the next couple of weeks. Coach, good luck to you, and congrats on a good kind of month of December. I know it's busy for you, but good showing out of your guys, and we'll keep in touch. We get a little bit closer to some of these more home duels coming up.
Thank you.
All right, head coach Mike Mendoza here on Roadrunner Rundown again Friday at 7 o'clock at the Icardo Center. Runners hosting Cal Poly. We're to step away. When we come back, we'll talk some swimming and diving. We'll have Carlee Burks from the CSU women's diving team and Michaela Paige, CSU women's swimming. Both those ladies having a couple good weeks. We'll talk about that and more. This is Roadrunner Rundown. Join CSUB men's basketball for Agriculture Night as they host New Mexico State in a pivotal Western Athletic Conference battle at the Icardo Center Saturday, January 23rd. All California ag-related programs and organizations are invited to attend, with tickets being sponsored by regional agriculture businesses. If you're a member of a local FFA, ag company, or other related field, contact the CSUB ticket office to find out how you can be a part of this ticket offer. Call 654-2361 for details. That's 654-2361. And join us for Ag Night versus New Mexico State on January 23rd.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes. We're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
We strive to achieve excellence through determination and hard work.
We are committed to winning from those around us.
Our professors and peers,
our coaches and teammates,
and our opponents.
We compete with integrity and passion.
And we seize our moment when the opportunity arises.
We take pride in our communities
and believe that we can inspire others, just as they have inspired us. We may wear different colors, but we share the same purpose.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are
the Western Athletic Conference.
Introducing a new way to get the news. The Bakersfield Californian e-edition. It's not a website, it's the actual Bakersfield Californian right on your tablet computer, laptop, even your smartphone. All the news, features, pictures, and ads you're used to right at your fingertips. Now you can get the Californian on your schedule, anytime, anywhere, anyplace. Get your new Bakersfield Californian e-edition today. Visit eedition.bakersfield.com.
In a fertile valley, a growing university with record enrollment and graduates serving the needs of a thriving community, a tradition of athletic excellence. Now a part of the Western Athletic Conference. CSU Bakersfield.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Mike Mendoza joining us in the last segment. CSUB Wrestling at home Friday night against Cal Poly, 7 o'clock. And Greg McCall of CSUB Women's Basketball. They play home at Thursday at 7 and Saturday at 3. And more information, as always, available online at gorunners.com. I want to welcome to the program now. These ladies coming off a pretty good month of December. They've been in the pool quite a bit and actually doing a pretty good job of it. And first, immediately to my left is Carlee Burks, junior diver for CSUB. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Carlee's a little nervous, folks. I don't know why. I just told her, don't worry, it'll be fine. It'll be painless. And Michaela Paige, she's a crafty vet. She's been here a couple times, but a couple wins at Fresno State. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Well, first of all, I want to talk the last couple meets. You guys have been right there, very close losses. But let's talk about San Jose State. That was a New Year's Eve one, and a real close one there. But Carlee had a fairly good day on the board, and I think you won the 1 meter in that one. So you've been getting better this year. I mean, what's this season been like for you? It seems like you've been getting stronger as the season's progressed.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot has to do with just coming in the second year with our coach Ben. Each of us have got to talk to him about what works best for us. So we've really found like what helps each of us individually improve, and I just feel like that's worked out well for us.
And the diving portion of swimming and diving this year has really, I think, been, and maybe it's because of the coaching, but it's kind of gotten to that point where it's a major scoring part of our duels. I know in the past we just needed people to get on the diving board and fall off just to get some points. We just didn't have a diving portion, and now it's a big part and a successful part of the program. You kind of sense that happen here in the last few years?
Yeah, definitely. It's really exciting. I mean, I look forward to like each meet and seeing everyone come in and just trying to do the best we can.
Yeah, and what was kind of your draw to, I want to be a diver when I, go to college, or as you continued as a high school athlete to go into college swimming?
Well, I mean, in general, I started diving. I mean, I did cheer and gymnastics, that type of tumbling background, and whenever I decided to go away from that, I wanted to try diving because a lot of people do that going into diving. Yeah. So whenever I started that going into my sophomore year of high school, and then I just wanted to keep on going through.
And we've got a few on the team now, they're like that, right? Mm-hmm. That just have maybe a gymnastics or a tumbling background. So are you kind of helping them along as they kind of decide to try this sport?
Yeah, definitely. Like Hannah, our freshman who came in, she literally just started diving 4 months ago and came from gymnastics, and she's done amazing well. She has lists on both boards already and learning new dives every day. It definitely helps when you have some sort of tumbling background. You get the awareness in the air. You understand it more.
Nice. And Michaela Paige, who was injured a bit in the early part of the season, even last year, I know you were banged up. You're finally healthy now, right? And you're swimming very well. What's it like to kind of feel like you're finally 100%?
Well, I had surgery after conference last year, so finally everything's great. It's awesome to be able to train and to compete and not have to worry about my elbow at all. So. Yeah,
and a couple wins up at Fresno State. I mean, that's a good Mountain West program to go up there and manage to get a couple victories. Had to on top of some of the wins you've had recently, that was probably a good stepping stone as well.
Yeah, I feel like I'm finally back. So that was my meet of I'm finally back to where I was before.
Yeah, and you and I talked in the halftime of a basketball game here recently because this was a time of the year, this past month of December, when most teams are either kind of playing like basketball or they're off. You guys are in a very intense training / competition, and it's your winter training camp. So you survived it. What was it like?
I know, finally done all 4 years. Yay!
You should get a badge or something.
I know, like you really should though, because it's terrible. But it feels great. I mean, it's the end of our season now, so all the hard work has been put in. So it's just time to, we still have a little bit left of hard work, but it's time to have some fun now.
Yeah. And so what do you, and Carlee, maybe you can help us out, like what now that part of the season, the really super tough part, training part is done, now you're really zoning in on conference coming up, but you also got some duels and some tri-duels. So what's kind of the mindset in January going into February as someone on, someone preparing for a conference meet in a couple weeks?
Well, for diving, I think we narrowed down our list of what specific dives we'll want to work on and have for conference, so we can just keep going over lists over and over to be able to feel confident, especially when you're on different boards at different places. And so, I mean, for us, it's mainly to get that main list down and get those dives perfect.
Where are you more comfortable at? I mean, it seems like the 1 meter's been pretty solid for you this year. Is that you're more comfortable there?
1 meter should definitely always be my favorite board, and I think. Like, I started to go back to liking 3 meter just because I got more DD, and now I'm getting that DD back on 1 meter. I definitely am more confident on my outs on 1 meter. So.
Yeah, and so far, like we said, I think there's been 3 Diver of the Week awards for you in the WAC, so congratulations on that. Michaela, from your perspective, and we've got the UC San Diego tri-dual coming up this weekend, Colorado Mesa, Loyola Marymount, UC San Diego, and then be at Fresno Pacific, then UC Santa Cruz, and then the WAC. You've got about a month off between that and the WAC. So what do you kind of focus on, zero in on as we get to this portion of the season for you?
I just think the technical things, how Chris had mentioned in one of the write-ups from our last swim meet in Fresno, our turns and our finishes weren't really that great, and that's what kind of hurt us. So definitely finishing and doing turns better, just the little things that just will help you just that little much more.
Awesome. Now, again, the WAC Championships coming up on February 24th through the 27th, but still about a couple tri-dual and a dual with Santa Cruz and Fresno Pacific still to come, all on the road for CSUB women's swimming. Okay, I told you beforehand, I want to start a new segment. It's a new year. Start a new segment. I'd like to, from now on, I kind of name this segment Unfacts, as in unfrequently asked questions, right? Every time you go on the website now, frequently asked questions, and this is Unfacts. These are not unfrequently asked questions. So I figured you could each, especially with two of you, there'd be plenty of go back and forth on this. All right, so I got 5 Unfacts, okay? Number 1, would you rather to be able to talk to animals or speak all foreign languages?
Talk to animals for me.
Speak all foreign languages.
Really?
Yeah.
I think, I mean, people are people. Animals, those are cool.
I don't know. I just feel like for an example, like when you go get your nails done and the ladies are talking bad about you, and you want to know what they're saying.
Great point. I'll remember that next time I get my nails done. Now, okay, if you couldn't be in your current sport, what else would you be competing in?
Ooh.
I think I would do either volleyball or soccer just because they have great legs.
There you go.
I probably wouldn't do volleyball.
Volleyball?
Yeah.
Tall enough, you think? Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Well, actually,
I could, yeah.
You can definitely jump, right? You're a diver. You don't have the spring to go with anymore.
Yeah.
But all right, so if you could be a superhero, which one would it be? Like Superman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Daredevil? You got a superhero picked out?
I guess Superman for me so I can fly.
I don't really like superheroes. So
me neither. I was just throwing it out there. All right. If you had a chance to either this is like your humanitarian question, okay? If you had the chance to either end world hunger or bring world peace, which one would you choose?
World peace.
That's a hard one. Yeah, world peace.
World peace. There you go. That's a good idea. You want people to just like strive for something, right? So if they're hungry, they're still there. You go. And then finally, what's better for you? Is it staying a night in a nice hotel or spending a night camping in the great outdoors?
Camping.
I actually like both. I mean, I guess I'd pick one. I guess I'll probably camp too because you get to actually enjoy the nature and.
There you go.
But you could do it inside in a nice hotel too, and then go outside. I don't know.
We didn't find that. Well, you can do glamping now. They call it glamping, where
What's that?
It's
glamour camping.
It's glamour camping, and you actually there are these tents. But these tents are like decked out like a 4-star hotel out in the middle of the woods. They got, they're like the big tents you walk into. And they're literally, it's like having a hotel out in the middle of the woods. And it's glamping.
Cool.
I'd like to do that. Have like a big old nice travel trailer, super nice.
Yes.
But you're still outdoor camping.
You're still outdoor camping technically, but you're still in the luxury of.
That's cheating.
It is kind of cheating. Yes, it is.
You get the best of both worlds.
It is kind of cheating for sure. No. All right. Well, thank you. You guys are the first victims of the Unfacts, and don't worry, we'll have plenty more of your student athlete counterparts have to suffer through that. So thanks, you guys were great. Well, good luck. I mean, I think this is you're really this is the point. I know Chris Hansen said that this is kind of where he expected this program to be on the women's swimming and diving side, and I know he started with building the women's swimming program, and Michaela said he's going to be sorry to see you and your class go, and then I know the diving program has been something he's been sort of helping build and get coaches. So I mean, you guys got to be pretty happy to see and be a part of really kind of rebirth of this program.
Yeah, it's been an honor.
For sure. And Michaela, plans when you're out of here soon?
I'm actually going to Europe for the summer, and then we'll see from there.
You're going to roam the earth. You get to do that roam the earth thing, right?
Yes, I do.
Man, see, I could never do that. I had a lot of people when I went to college, like, I'm going to go travel Europe for a few months. And I'm like, I got to get a job.
My dad keeps telling me that, but we'll do that after I get back.
Yeah, exactly. Just, roam the earth and live out of a backpack and take trains everywhere, right?
Yeah,
That's the plan? Awesome. Carlee, you have one more year, so you can think about that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I need time to think.
Yeah, you need some time to think. All right, well, ladies, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck coming up again this weekend. You'll be at UC San Diego, 3 teams there, and then conference is just right around the corner. So good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Carlee Burks and Michaela Paige joining us here on Roadrunner Rundown. We are out of here, folks. Next week, I'll be on the road. We're gonna have a fill-in host. I don't know who yet. Maybe these ladies will do it. I don't know. We're gonna have a surprise. We'll call it a surprise fill-in host. Just stay tuned for the announcement on that, as we'll be bringing you all the highlights as well, though, from the basketball openers and of course the scores from around other CSUB sports coming up next week on the program as well. But should be a good show, and we'll have a solid guest host, I promise. And you can get the show anytime online at GoRunners.com. You can also get all of our scores, highlights, news, and all that stuff about your favorite CSUB teams there as well. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/CSUB Roadrunners, on Twitter and Instagram, and Snapchat at CSUB Athletics. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. My thanks to Greg McCall, Mike Mendoza, Carlee Burks, and Michaela Paige. We're out of here. We'll catch you next time. This has been Roadrunner Rundown.